Hello and welcome to Double Talk. Once again, I'm Mark Steffen.
I don't know my lines. I just didn't rehearse this weekend.
Your name is Michael Mandel.
Oh, I'm Michael Mandel, and welcome to the Mark Steffen Show.
Yes. Now, here we are.
Yes. Once again,
it's mid-January already.
It's darn cold. You know, I had a sweater on. I was going to bring my scarf, but thank goodness they gave us heat today in the studio. Usually we can't afford it.
It's usually quite cold in here. They
Yes,
have to do that on purpose to keep the electronic equipment from overheating.
Yeah, but now we don't care. We're using electronic equipment to heat ourselves. We just stand over the computers and just warm up. So what else rises with hot air except our show?
Well, you know, today is the balloon rally, back again after a 2-year absence. I'm glad to see those balloons in the air this morning.
There it is, right under your nipple.
And, you know, because of the economy.
What does that say? Alpo or something?
I think it's Alpo.
What economy? The balloons are rising a lot better than the economy is rising.
Well, I think that's a harbinger of good things to come.
Ah, that they were able to do this. Wells Fargo used to be a main supporter, right?
Yes,
and before them,
Fargo
Norwest.
Was a big supporter, and a number of other places were all. They had a number of sponsors.
Oh, see, that's a good picture.
They lost all the sponsorships
in
the last couple of years.
I can tell by the background that that's not here. That's Albuquerque.
Not true.
You see the background?
Blue sky.
My hand's going right through
there. We have
there.
blue sky.
Like I'm poking the thing.
And yeah, it's
nice.
a balloon.
Oh,
and so anyway, it's good to see the balloons back. They went up this morning, and tonight though they'll be having the balloon glow, which is always a neat thing when they fire up the balloons.
So if you missed them this morning, go watch them glow, and you'll think they're like flying. What is it? Flying saucers.
Well, they stay on the ground.
They only stay on the ground.
They stay on the ground for the glow.
Oh,
but at night, you know, when the air goes in, when the flames go into the balloon at night,
it makes everything
looks great.
Gorgeous.
Yeah. Now,
we should do that with our shirts. You know, have a little flame inside and have them glow, and we'd have some.
Well, I always knew you were flaming. But tomorrow they're going to be launching again. Tomorrow morning, so keep your eyes peeled to the skies. About 7 o'clock in the morning. 7
o'clock.
7 and 8. They will be flying tomorrow. Too.
Actually, at 7 o'clock in the morning, I do have to peel my eyes. They're just glued over. It's too early. You're up that early, right? Because you're like a farmer guy.
You know, I frequently get up around 3:30, 4 o'clock.
And then pee.
And try desperately to go back to bed.
But you haven't gone to pee yet. But
and I usually, after breakfast, I then go back to bed. Well, what choice do I have?
What a day. What a day. Wake up for lunch.
It's either that or sleep during the show.
We're so lucky that you have lunch, take your nap, come for the show, sleep during the show, and then everything's okay.
Well, I can sleep during the show because I'm the co-host.
The co-host? That's more like the co-hog.
Co-hog.
Sleeping clam. You're a co-hog.
Co-hog and semi-producer.
Let's get more political. You want to get more political, don't you?
Well,
did you? I mean, the balloon rally.
Of hot air. Yeah, why not?
Yes, balloon rally, hot air.
Politicians are full of hot air.
So the hot air from here lifted Susana Martinez all the way north to Santa Fe.
Yes,
Santa Fe. And there she's kicked the guy out from the spaceport. She talked about the fact that it's a $209 million facility. It has 3 large sponsors. She may end up. We don't know what's going to happen. Things are bad. Well, things are bad with something else.
We run the risk. We run the risk that Sir Richard Branson may just pull out if he doesn't think the state any longer has confidence in the spaceport.
Well, that could be sad. You can make a movie about that, but
I mean, it's meant to open this year, and if she pulls out the funding. She already fired the guy running it, Homans, who's pretty much the guy who knows how it runs.
He was working at it from the beginning. And I already made reservations. So what happens to my reservations?
There's no refunds if you read the fine print.
I think
no refunds, Michael.
I got trip insurance, so I should be okay.
Well, just don't trip on the way over.
Well, that's not a good picture of her, is it? That's.
What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
Well, you know, the other pictures, she was more balanced. Here she looks a little anxious. Her face looks a little drawn.
Well, so now she's actually working for a living.
Maybe that's a recent thing. She's also going to cut something dear to your heart, if you had one.
That's true. Well, as I predicted.
The money from?
She's cutting the film incentive program.
As you said last week, in her favor, and I don't know if it's a clear-cut thing, she did put the luxury jet up for sale. The private luxury jet is worth about, $3 million.
Yeah, you want to get it? Let's get it for the show. The station could use it.
Could you do that? And could we do that and take off from the spaceport and then go into, I was planning on going to Saturn.
We could do our show from the plane every week. So we fly around the country.
That'd be good. I think our producer could fund that because there's a lot of money coming in from you advertisers, that should be able to fund us to get us, you know, we're already out of this world.
Well, if you're going to buy a car, you get to test drive it. We can test drive the plane and get a show out of it.
Good idea.
Right? They have to pay for the gas.
Don't tell anybody. Don't make it public.
Let's test drive the plane.
We didn't even say anything. So she cut that out. She's selling that, which also includes, I think, a salary of $80,000 a year for the pilot. So one more person's out of a job in New Mexico, as well as the 2 chefs and other people.
2? I thought there were 3 chefs. Well, she fired 2.
2. She kept the good one, you know.
She fired the pastry chef and the other chef.
You'd want pastry. What's a governor's house without pastry? You go there. You know what? You go and you visit Susanna Martinez. Bring your own Danish.
Yeah, I guess you're going
to
have
to do.
Yeah, can somebody get a bagel around here?
Yeah, we got to make ourselves.
Well, you know, if they need a pastry,
Pop-Tart.
they can always bring a pastry chef in if they need one.
Yes, all the people they fired. So the unemployment rate goes up once again. Oh, they're also cutting down, you know, teachers a little bit. Not necessarily teachers, but the public schools administration.
The bureaucracy of the
bureaucracy.
schools.
Of course, one of the reasons you have bureaucracy sometimes is because things don't run themselves.
Well,
what's that called? If they did, anarchy.
No, that's
anarchy is when nobody's running anything.
Well, then that's
if nobody's running anything.
Kind of like
running it?
It's kind of like this station, isn't it?
I don't know. I don't know how the station runs. It's beyond my ken.
Well, it's
my ken is not there.
Well, I don't know. That's not my fort. But
your forte?
No, my
forte.
Fort.
Your fort. Anyway, so Susanna is, you know, she's cutting down. I think she said it's cuts about $835,000 out of her budget by cutting down on the expenses in her office. Of course, I think we have a deficit of like $20 billion or something like that.
No, $4.9 billion, isn't it?
4.9? Who knows? We're not good at numbers, but it doesn't matter because numbers don't mean anything when it comes to money from the government. You just throw these numbers out.
Well, you
California has billions of dollars of debt.
You don't have this, you know, $1 billion here and $1 billion there. Eventually, you're talking real money.
And that's right, billionaire. I got one. I got $1 billion. Did you say I want to borrow some money?
Not at your rates.
What are you calling me? A usurer?
A usurer.
Is that what you're saying? Jerry Brown from California has cut out about, I think 40,000 cell phones, and it's going to save about, I don't know, 900,000 tons of money. So there's little places you can save money. Of course, if you have to talk to any of those people in California, you know, you're going to have to get them by their phone in their office. So.
Yeah, they have office phones anyway. What do they need cell phones and sitting in their office all day?
Maybe that'll bring a surge of more payphones. When was the last time you saw a payphone?
Try to find a payphone now.
You can't find a payphone. You have to stop somebody in the street and give them a quarter.
Well, you know, it used to be before everybody had cell phones that, you know, drug dealers would use payphones.
I wouldn't know
They
about
called
that.
from one payphone
That's a picture of the payphones,
to another payphone.
Is that payphones?
And the NSA monitored every payphone to payphone call in this country because usually it had to do with nefarious activities. Now with no more payphones.
Well, you can monitor every one of those prepaid phones if they can figure out how to do that.
Well, now they
do that.
They listen in on everybody's cell phone now, and they listen for trigger words. If you use the word anthrax or terrorist or explosion, you will hear a click on your phone.
What if you say, I'm a tourist? What if you say, I want to be a tourist, I want to go to Angola? Would that
They would probably click in
Angola,
just to be sure.
I guess they would. I'm a tourist.
I'm a tourist.
I'm a tourist. I'm looking over the sites.
They think you're a Texas tourist.
Terrorist, yeah. That's how it works. Where did that come from? Oh, that's the end of... All governors around the United States are going to be cutting expenses, right? As we cut expenses here. As you can see, we're only using three cameras. We're using the same flags we used last week. We used to get a fresh set of flags every week.
Yes, to go with the fruit.
Yes. The fruit, little mice come and eat that at night.
So, but we still have you. So it's not a total loss.
I'm usually new every week. I'm the same old me as I was last week.
And
before that.
Speaking of
older as well.
Speaking of cutting back.
Yes.
One thing we didn't cut back on is our convention center. Because we didn't used to have one, now we do.
And that was planned way before the recession took hold. So they did it, they made it. Now that nobody has any money, there it is. We're going to fill in that place with water and make it the aquatic center once again. or the natatorium. I like that
And
word
so
better.
we have a new convention center now. The open house was Thursday. And,
yes, and you went.
It was Gwent.
How'd you like that?
Well,
was it fun? What did you think?
It's awfully small, folks. Okay, there's 2 really main rooms that you can use, as well as a few other smaller places.
We don't expect a lot of people.
Well, basically, what it does, it's the city competing with hotels that have banquet rooms and convention facilities. Unfortunately,
like in Canto and
it's just slightly larger than some of the hotels we have.
Well, a lot of the city-related and the other organizations from town feel obligated to go there.
And there's not enough parking either. Once the parking lot fills up,
aren't you a little old for parking?
And you want to, and there's 6,000 more people showing up to the convention, you have to park up at the Pan American Center, and then hope there's a shuttle that's going to bring you all the way down.
The Pan American Center is only about 1.5 miles away. You can easily jog downhill. Going back, not so easy.
Right.
Hopefully you'll be drunk by the time you're driving back.
So I'm not sure how the shuttle scenario is for that.
So you know what? They should put bike lanes in so you can get back.
They do have a bike lane there.
They do?
Yes, they do, all the way.
On Stewart Street, is that it?
No, the bike lane goes right up University Avenue.
Oh, that's right. It is.
So
it only goes, it goes up and down.
So getting
down is better.
Getting there.
Down's better.
That means you have to
get a ride
take
back.
a bicycle with you. So it's not convenient, and it's really not what it needs to be. You know, Alamogordo has had a convention center for years. It's the old National Guard Armory.
Well, we didn't have an old National
Ruidoso has a much larger convention center than Las Cruces does, and has for years.
That's a tourist destination. That's where all the Texans like to go because it's
and theirs is right next to a resort hotel and an 18-hole golf course.
Well, would we say that neither of us was for the convention center? But now that it's here, we're still against it. But it can't be what?
I wasn't against it in concept.
Oh,
I was against
execution.
I was against it in execution.
The same as with the aquatic center that's on. Is that right? That sounds more like a dead duck. Aquatic.
That's the aquatic center. That's just a kiddie pool.
And
it's very
a lot of money went into that. You know, it's great. We spend tons of money and then we just fall short. Not saying anything about how the city does things, but if you're going to do something,
don't do it like the city of Las Cruces does.
Don't do it like me.
You know, because we had 4 major construction things last year. The kiddie pool, which they call the aquatic center, the convention center, the new city hall, and then the new federal building.
Those are all the last 2. The federal building came out pretty big.
Yeah.
You know,
$90 million.
It's worth every penny of it.
Really?
Of our money.
Yes.
You know, I did pay $90 million.
Well, the city at least didn't have to pay for that. Luckily, that was federally funded.
Yes, so we didn't have to pay.
But we are going to have to pay for bike lanes on Roadrunner Parkway, and that's going to be
good because
almost $2 million.
When you're looking for bike riders to run over, it's good to know where the lane is.
We need more bike lanes in this town. Albuquerque has done a great job with bike lanes. Las Cruces, not so good.
So you're for this one? You're for
bike lanes? I'm
for
any bike lanes.
There's a lot of big hills on Roadrunner.
And you know,
Roadrunner is really tough to ride your bike.
Well, that'd be a very challenging ride.
Good exercise.
That's what we need.
And fall over.
So,
fall over.
And you know, and the buses in Albuquerque are built to carry numerous bicycles as well. I think Las Cruces buses can. Some
I think they can, but nobody uses the buses, so it doesn't matter.
All right. Well, that's another problem we can go into. But before that, we have to take a quick break.
We do?
We do.
Are you thinking about 20 seconds?
No, about 2 minutes. We'll be back in about 2 minutes, folks.
See you.